The quality's been excellent, and I've really enjoyed it. You do, for your GP training, you do 18 months of hospital jobs and you do 18 months of GP jobs. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. What can I say? Yeah.
So I think the level of quality across the whole of the UK is fairly good in general practice, because you get quite a lot of one-to-one supervision. You get an allocated trainer who kind of supervises you fairly closely, so you get a lot more feedback on your performance, I think, from my experience, than when I worked in hospital. Locally speaking, because obviously that's my own experience, it's always been very high, so I've had some excellent trainers who've been really helpful. I've had a good relationship with them, and they've been really easy to speak to if I have any problems. And actually every day you can speak to someone about a patient if you've got concerns, so the quality of training, I think, is very high actually. Yeah.
I think it's excellent. The variety of jobs that you do in the hospital before you go on to GP training, sort of the GP posts, give you really good experience for working in the community as a GP.
Yeah, so positive, well organised. They like you to ask questions if you're stuck, and they haven't been annoyed by that. They quite welcome sort of any queries to just email in. They'll get back to you quite quickly. So it's all been really positive, I think.
The training scheme's good. I think it helps that it's actually fairly small, so you get to know your peers quite well, and you get to know the training programme directors and the administrators quite readily, so it feels quite a close-knit group. So if you have any issues, you can go and speak to someone and they know you, which I think maybe in larger training schemes that sometimes falls by the wayside.
They prepare you for the real world out there, because you have that exposure to the real patient that you tend to see. And the quality depends on obviously what practice you're working at. But based on my experience, I've actually had an enjoyable experience working as a GP training, especially in this area.
One of the best things about the training scheme in Hull is the hospital jobs that you do as a trainee. So A&E, palliative care, psychiatry, they're all jobs that are really useful for GP, and not all sort of GP training schemes do the same jobs.
I've really enjoyed all my placements, to be fair. I've had quite a good variety in that I had my first year and a half of placements in hospital, and then I moved for my final year and a half all in GP. So yes, I had all of my hospital placements initially. I had 4 placements in hospital rather than just 3. That I really liked as well. So I had 4 months in respiratory medicine, 4 months in mental health, 4 months in elderly, then I did 6 months in A&E. So I felt I got a really good wide range of coverage of the curriculum, as well as exposure to different types of patients. And then within my GP placements, I've had an inner city Hull placement for 6 months, and then a placement outside of Hull.
So lots of sort of hands-on experience, but lots of support to go along with it. You're in the deep end from day one. I think that's the best thing for it.
At the moment, I can't wait, because at the moment I'm doing my hospital rotation at the moment, and one of the things that I enjoy in terms of being a GP trainee is the fact that you have a lot of exposure to different things. Things that I wasn't even aware that in terms of finances, how to manage a practice, in terms of developing relationship with patients, and in terms of things that you don't even expect that patient will come to you to discuss, in terms of financial advice, marital advice, and other things as well. So really, it's like you get into the nitty-gritty of getting to know your patient properly.
Yeah, so Leadership Fellow is kind of a newer scheme that was set up by the Health Education England body to try and get more trainees involved with leadership experience and management experience maybe early in their career, to give them kind of the tools to kind of develop now, rather than wait till they get to the point in their career where they need them. So that was really interesting to kind of see general practice from a different perspective, I suppose.